Hello, it's me, Temp-Tempai. It is June 16th, 2026. And when I looked at the date today, I thought, oh, that's a really cool date, 061626. If you're using the American style of putting month before day. So I was like, it feels like a day to make a video. I don't know. This video is going to be just me basically vlogging, talking about my life recently and things that have been happening and the thoughts I've been having, and also talking about this really ridiculous sad post I made on Discord like a couple days ago. It's really embarrassing, but I'd rather not delete it. I'd rather have evidence that I was pathetically looking for attention online and nobody responded. Because I've been having a tough time lately, and I kind of want to be a little bit honest about that. So yeah, this will be a little bit of a serious little video, so don't listen if you're not into introspection, or if you don't have a personal stake in my life. This will probably be very boring for you. But yeah, right now I am, well, in the video anyways, I am dipping into one of the Great Lakes. I am at my parents' house, which is near the lakes, so I've been getting to enjoy some of the scenery here. I took this video a few days ago. I don't remember exactly when. I just kind of went out and sat at the rocks, and I set up the camera and I sat right next to it, and I couldn't listen to my music because I was recording the video, and I couldn't, you know, you can't listen to music and record video with audio capabilities at the same time. So I just sat there like an idiot, waiting for the video to finish. I was like, this would make a nice little upload, but I think I found a better use for it here. But yeah, I've been really isolating lately, so this is part of my attempt to kind of break out of that and reach out to you guys, because I don't enjoy it, but I'm a human being and I need, you know, to reach outside sometimes and touch somebody's face. So let me talk about a little bit about what's been happening the last while. The flight situation was kind of weird, but I was living in Japan for about 3 years. I was teaching English there. I stopped teaching English in March of this year. And then for about a month, I kind of languished in Japan. No car, no job, kind of living off savings, which was fine, but I wasn't really, I don't know, I wasn't doing anything I should have been, right? I was very lazy, I was very unmotivated. And then for about a week, it was like frantic packing and throwing everything in my apartment away in somewhat not super legal ways in Japan. It was a mess. I had to like rent a bike at some point and like ride it with a backpack full of clanking aluminum cans because I couldn't get rid of them in time. I rode it down to the supermarket. Kids were looking at me funny. It was awful. Recycling is tough in Japan, but it's done now. And around the 23rd of May? Was it May? Hang on, are my dates wrong? No, my dates aren't wrong. Was I in Japan for like 2 months? Did I lose a month? Oh my gosh, I can't even remember now. It's insane. But around the 22nd of May, I came back. Yeah, actually, yeah, I was in Japan for like a month and a half still after I lost my job. Wow. I lost a month there. That was insane. But around 23rd of May, I came back to America, and after a brief stay with my sister, I went to my parents' house here. And I've been there since, so it's been about 3.5 weeks, a little under a month since I've come back to America. And I haven't done all that much since I've gotten here. I've mostly tried to relax and calm down after like the stress of trying to move everything I own across the, across half the world, and just trying to regain a sense of stability and safety, which has been somewhat successful, I suppose. I've been really relaxing. I guess just on terms of things I can talk about, I've been getting back into running again. I'm running most mornings for, it's only like 20 or 30 minutes right now, but I'm building up to it. I'm down 10 pounds from my heaviest, which is nice. I guess the move was so stressful I just like lost 10 pounds and didn't even realize. The other day I checked my weight, I was like, oh hey, that's nice. Still have 30 pounds to go before I hit like my ideal weight, but that's probably a far ways away, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Another thing is that recently it was my 37th birthday. For those of you who don't know, I am Unk. I'm serious Unk age here. And I only really want to say that just to warn you guys off, because I know the VTuber space is full of young people. Ugh. And I don't want to accidentally fish one of you into thinking I'm one of the bros. No, I'm absolute Unk territory. So just just a heads up. I feel it feels weird being like an older person, like a younger person space. So I just kind of want to be upfront about that, so I don't accidentally, I don't know, like I said, catfish. I don't want to surprise somebody like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm much older than you. This doesn't feel right. There's like weird power imbalances with that. I don't know. It's easy to overthink these sorts of things, but so yeah, I've been in America for about 3 weeks, and I've had plenty of opportunity to just kind of take it easy and relax, think about my next steps and what I want to do in life. And I have found that I have not done anything that I thought I would want, be able to do, like, oh, hey, I have some time. I can finally focus on the things that matter to me, improve my hobbies, write like my next resume for my next job and start job searching. And I've really done nothing useful or, productive in that sort of sense. I've completely stalled on my rigging projects for like Live 2D or 3D or anything. My creativity's kind of, I'm still thinking of things, but I'm just like not actually doing anything. If anything, I've been like really binging YouTube and buying a lot of video games, but not playing them enough. It's definitely like that thing where like, oh, you just find yourself like scrolling through the Steam store, but you're not buying anything in your free time. Like window shopping. It's disgusting behavior. I don't know why this has happened for me, but I found myself ending up doing that. And I've been in a slump recently, and that's where it kind of ties into that Discord post. Just like this last weekend, my parents went to visit my sister, so they were gone for 3.5, 4 days. So I had basically the whole house to myself for 4 days. I could do whatever I wanted and not worry about, being seen, or, for whatever reason. I have a hard time kind of being authentic around other people, so I really like being alone. So I was like, okay, this is my time to shine. I'm finally gonna get back to that rigging project I've been working on. I'm gonna finish up my resume. I'm gonna be so productive this weekend. And then I just did absolutely nothing and played like a lot of Thief Simulator and watched a lot of dumb YouTube, Super Mario Maker 2 on YouTube and stuff, and I just wasted all that time, right? And it just, I think that was the straw that broke the back, the camel, the metaphorical camel here, right? Just like, how many times do you have to betray your own hopes before you finally are like, okay, this is just too much? And I just got really, really depressed. And I used to have this feeling in Japan too. You know, like I said, I was like a free agent in Japan for about a month and a half, and I basically did nothing with that time. Oh, I forgot to mention this actually. This is the one good thing that's been really, really good for me. But I've stopped drinking since I've gotten back to America. I've been able to keep on that, and that's such a huge bonus. In Japan, I was like the one of the main reasons I came back from Japan to America is because I couldn't control my drinking very well. It was getting out of hand, and for me that just means basically like going through a 6-pack in a night, like of a semi-strong, not semi-strong, of a pretty strong drink. So it's fortunately not like, oh, I'm going through a whole handle of vodka. It's not that bad, thankfully, but it still is like this is what my life is. This is what my off time is. I'm not doing anything creative. I don't have like a side hustle or a side hobby. My hobby is drinking. And so I needed to get that under control. So I came back to America. That was the primary reason. And I've been able to keep on that. And that's good. But at the same time, I was using drinking to cope with a lot of the things that I'm feeling right now. So that's gone. I've also stopped like stress eating. So a lot of like, I mean, yeah, like I said, I dropped 10 pounds, so that's good. But those were coping mechanisms for trying to deal with negative emotions that I was feeling in my life. So now I'm feeling these emotions very strongly, and I'm just like depressed. So I'm just like Monday, yesterday, I spent most of it sleeping. I couldn't, like, I'd gotten plenty of sleep the night before, but I was just so exhausted. Like, I got up at around 8 and I went for a run. I couldn't even like keep up a run for like half a minute. I would just start running and then just kind of go back to walking, try running again, go back to walking, just because I was so unmotivated. Why even bother, you know? Just it came down to a question that I had, that I've been thinking about a lot, and that was it's because I'm like listening to like YouTube stuff about this, right? about like trying to like figure out what, you know, how to get around this block and to be productive again and kind of like live the life I want to live. But it's really hard to do that when you don't know what you're aiming for. So like, I guess the question that really haunted me was, what kind of life is worth living? So I'm gonna get a little bit personal here, and this is not an this is not an attack on anyone. I'm an atheist, right? I don't believe in God. This is not something I'm wanting to debate or talk about even. I think everyone has to make, you know, their own judgments based on their experiences in life, and this is what my experiences brought me to. But the point is, because of that, I struggle a lot with nihilism, right? Like, oh no, there's no meaning to life. And there's a YouTuber I really like to listen to, No Nonsense Spirituality. It's like, she's dealt with a lot of these feelings as well, coming out from being ex-Mormon, and I would recommend her videos if you struggle with nihilism and are also atheist. I think if you're Christian, there's probably better resources for you than that. But I find her videos very like illuminating, and they touch on a lot of experiences that I have felt. And the reason I bring this up is because it's that's something that she brought up that helped snap her out of her despair. When she was like at her lowest, was like she kind of realized, oh hey, my life is not worth living. This life I have right now is not worth living. So what would be a life that's worth living? And she tried, and afterwards she was able to imagine a life where she would want to live it, where it'd be worthwhile, and you know, that gave her a goal to kind of work towards. And so I'm like, okay, that makes sense, yeah. So I tried thinking about it, right? What is kind of life that's worth living? But it's such an open-ended question. You know, it's like, oh, hey, I want to live cottagecore in the woods and write stories for a living, and I have 3 dogs, and I drink a coffee, and I look like the lo-fi girl. You know, like, do you really want that though? Like, it's so easy to imagine like a scenario where like, oh, this is my life. I am a live 2D rigger. I make enough to make ends meet. I have a nice girlfriend and some cute dogs and a cat maybe, and I live within my means, and I don't, you know, I live cozy. You know, it's easy to make yourself think about that, but here's the thing, like I've already seen that I don't really know if I want to be a rigger, right? Like I've told myself so many times, hey, I want to be a live 2D rigger. This is the kind of the goal I want to set for myself. But every day I'm not doing it. I'm procrastinating it. I've sat on this stupid rigging project I've been on for since I lost my job and not lost my job, but since I quit my job in Japan. For a month and a half I sat in Japan and I didn't do it. I would just play video games and drink and buy video games and not play them. And now when I'm in America, I'm not drinking, but I'm still not doing the rigging work. So it's like, it just seems absurd for me to say, hey, this is my imagined life. You know, this is a life worth living. This is what I want to be. When it's very clear I'm not working towards that at all. You know? And it's maddening. It's maddening, like this conflict between the ideal self and then the real self, which is like, no, this is not really what I want. So for me, it feels like self-deception. Like, like, why am I telling myself this is what I want to be if this is not really what I want to be? Sure, sometimes I've enjoyed rigging models, but do I really want to be a live 2D rigger? Why am I not working towards that if this is what I want, you know? Is there something else at play? And it's just like this maddening circle. You know, you can always find reasons and ways to think yourself out of things, right? It's just mental gymnastics, and I'm very, very good at mental gymnastics. I'm quite well practiced. I practice every day. So it's been very, very, I don't know. This is something I've been struggling with for a long time, right? Like these feelings. And it's come to a head because I no longer am drinking, so I can't ignore it anymore. It has to be dealt with. So Monday is kind of when that finally came to head, because I was just like, been a whole weekend, I had all this time, I did nothing with it, and this is just, it's too much. I can't keep ignoring this. And it got to the point where I just, because I like to like fall asleep to like YouTube and stuff. I was just so depressed that Sunday night, Monday, like 2 a.m. that I just like put the phone down and I just stopped listening and I just sat in the darkness and let myself be depressed. And I find that finally was what I needed. I needed the silence, and I needed to embrace kind of the despair I felt, the unhappiness I felt, you know? Running away from it is kind of the trouble. So I just sat with it and I tried to listen to it, and I tried to, I don't know, be honest with myself about it. Like, it's hard for me to kind of like figure out when exactly I was able to turn things around, because like even though I had worked through a lot of the difficulties, I guess, by the end of my pseudo run that Monday morning, but I still went back home and I slept for like another 6 hours, even though I had already slept for like 6 hours before. It was just, I guess I was mentally out of it. But I kind of eventually was able to find a path forward, I guess. And that's from another point of view, like not another point of view, but another point of attack, which is core values. The idea of like trying to figure out what your core values are and working from there. So although like if you're in the nihilistic void, I don't want to be so dramatic as saying that, but when you're in the void, when you have no direction, no sense of purpose or being, right? One thing you can use would be your core values, the things that, you know, you value the most as an individual, and try to work from principle rather than having like a goal that says, okay, I'm going to try to reach here. You work from principle. You say, these are the principles I value, and so I will take actions that are aligned with them, right? But that's the same question, right? What are my core values? How the fuck do you figure that out? Because I've tried it before, you know, like, oh, here's a list of 100 different values. Select the top 25 that resonate with you the most. Now go back through that 25 and select the top 10 that resonate with you the most. Now go back through that top 10 and cut it down to 2, maybe 3. And those are your core values. And that sort of bullshit just pisses me off. It's so dumb. It doesn't work for me. I don't know how to... It's just like, how do you even start? And I don't know how I got onto this thought here, but there's a psychological trick you can use in these sorts of situations. I don't remember how I remembered it, but thank God I did, because it really helped. But what you can do in these sorts of situations is, it's very, 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 very hard sometimes to decide what is good, right? Like, what's the best move in this situation? That can be very difficult. And for perfectionists like me, I need to have the best move, right? I need to make the best decision. And that's paralyzing, because you can spend forever, you know, analyzing, being like, okay, how can I optimize it? I need to make the best move. Most situations, you just want to make a good move, right? An okay move, good enough move, but gotta decide. So I could sit there forever and be like, okay, well, what's my, you know, core values? I have no idea. I don't even know where to start with that. The way to get around that is to attack from the other side. Instead of saying, what's my core value? Say, you know, look into what is my anti-values. What are the things that bother me the most in life? You know, what are the things that really just, when I think about being that way, it makes me like cringe. It makes me shiver. I get revulsion feelings, like in my gut. What are the things that I hate? Working for the opposite actually seems to work really, really well for me. Immediately, some things come to mind. Inauthenticity, I guess, is kind of the big one that comes to mind. I can give you a pretty funny example of this. Inauthenticity. The wind picked up there for a second. I'm trying to keep a little bit louder than the wind. Last time I tried to make a recording with this video, the audio was really washed out by the thing. But anyways, I had a really good Japanese teacher who helped me study Japanese before I went back over to Japan, and it was huge help. Oh my god. So last time I saw her in Japan, I had to tell her I was going back to America, and I was very disappointed about that. But the thing about her is that she is really, really good at, you know, teaching Japanese, and she's good at English too. So she's just like, she's a really good teacher, but she will talk my ear off about trying to find a Japanese girlfriend and getting citizenship through marrying her. She will unendingly talk to me about it. She'll always just like be like, oh, Temp-san, I can't wait for you to find that wonderful Japanese woman in your life. It's so infuriating, and I always would bite my tongue, right? I would always not say anything, because especially in Japan, you know, you want to have a polite demeanor. You don't want to be impolite and like ruin the mood or whatever. It's just like, okay, she's my senior. I should probably just, you know, nod and say nothing and let it go. But oh my god, it just happens every time, and every time it really irks me. It really bothers me. And this last time that I met with her, it was literally just like a 30-minute like catastrophe where I didn't want to say anything, so I would just like nod, but I'd be really unhappy about it, and I wouldn't like, I'm so uncomfortable about this conversation. I wish she would stop talking about trying to find a girlfriend. And she would notice I was uncomfortable, and she kept trying to reassure me that my Japanese was good and that I'd be able to find a new job and that I would be able to find a girlfriend. And it's just like, it just was like this unending cycle of like me trying to suppress you know, like being like, I'm fine, I don't want to find a Japanese girlfriend, I'm not worried about this sort of stuff. I was trying to suppress that part of myself, and it would feed into her need to reassure me, which it was like literally half an hour of me being extremely uncomfortable, not saying very much, just looking at the table, and she was desperately trying to fix that by continuing to say the things that would really bother me. And I mean, that's just kind of a funny situation to look back on, and that's kind of very Japanese sort of thing to happen. But it just that I was being very inauthentic, right? I wish, I still think about it, like just being like, hey, this conversation is making me uncomfortable. We should stop talking about this. I still think about saying that to her often, like kind of like, you know, you lost the argument, but afterwards you think about like, oh, I wish I had said this, and then it would have been so good. But so for me, I guess I can be very inauthentic at times. I'm very willing to like be pushed over in order to make things go along smoothly. So I think, and it bothers me. It does bother me. But I have other fears that are kind of like pushing on me, and it made me realize that the fact that I kind of feel this innately, I have this very strong not hatred, but rejection of feeling this way, and that I struggle with it a lot. That must mean that it's important to me, right? So I think authenticity is something, it's a very big struggle for me, but because I feel strongly about it, I think it's important to me as well. And it's something I really want to be better at. It's kind of why I'm making this video in the first place, and I'm opening up to you about it. And I even talked about being an atheist, which is like something I don't want to talk about. I don't even want to bring it up. It's very personal for me, but I think I think I need to be more authentic, because I think I value that. And so I'm trying to be a little bit more honest and a little bit more open. So I think that's one of my values. And when I thought about it like that, like, what are the things that bother me in my life? You know, what I hate in seeing in other people, and I also do myself. The second one, kind of tied to the first one. My second value, I think, would be autonomy, or like the ability to make decisions for myself. I've struggled a lot with being assertive, with standing up for myself and making my own decisions, and I don't like it when people make decisions for me. Recently there was kind of a thing with my parents. My mom really wanted to get me some pants, and I didn't really care for it, but I was like, okay, whatever, I guess, you know, we'll get more pants. But I actually only had like 2 functional pairs of pants. I have like 3, but one has like a hole in it, so it's like not really good. So I did need more pants, but like the fact that like my mom was like trying to push new pants on me really irked me. It made me not want to get them, right? And it comes from the feeling of like kind of like having decisions made for me, which I think is probably necessary for me, just because like I'm a very indecisive person. If I didn't have people helping me out, I probably wouldn't be anywhere in life right now. But there has been a feeling where I've like let people make decisions for me, and it really bothers me. And I think it's one of the reasons I like to isolate myself so much from other people. I like to be alone because I don't know how to navigate boundaries with other people. I don't understand it. I've never had a good sense for it, and so I avoid that. And so I think being able to make decisions for myself and have healthy boundaries with others, I guess, more core values in my life that I've been neglecting to take care of, because I don't know, I'm human. I'm human. I like to ignore the problems in my life rather than deal with them. And then I thought more about it, and I guess you know, other core values I would say I have, altruism is one. If you notice, I've been saying A words the whole time. I was like, oh, about halfway through I was like, oh, there's a bunch of A words here. I'm gonna try and find more values that start with A. Altruism is the one I found for that one. I like serving others. I like helping others. My favorite thing I did this year was helping Raimi with her uh, debut, the whole use under construction thing. That was so much fun. I like helping other people. I like being helpful. I like coming up with ideas for people. It makes me happy to see other people happy. So that's something that I value very highly. So if I'm gonna think of a life that I want to live, I should probably think about things where I can serve others. You know, a life that's spent serving others is one that's worthwhile in my eyes. And then I think the last one I came up with I called artism, but just that was for me the idea of balancing levity and gravity. My favorite anime director, Kunihiko Ikuhara, he made like Utena and Yurikuma Arashi. Lots of lesbianism in my favorite animes, but he's very, very good at like balancing very serious moments with very, very silly moments, and I've always appreciated that ability to kind of juggle between the two. So that's more of like kind of like an aesthetic thing. It's not a big huge value, but I think as a person I struggle with that a lot. Like I think I make a lot of people walk on eggshells around me just because I am a little unstable. I'm not predictable, I guess. I'm easily offended, maybe. I don't know if I come off exactly that way, but I can be at times, and I don't like making people walk on eggshells around me, but I think I do that, so something to work on in the future. But yeah, so I was able to come up with a number of core values, things that I value, because I don't know, I sat with my feelings. I was like, okay, well, I really can't figure out what I value. So what do I hate? What do I hate in life? What do I want to change? And let's work backwards from that to find values that I would like to have in my life. And just from doing that on Sunday night, Monday morning, I felt a lot of relief, I guess, already. Like yesterday, I was able actually, after I had slept again, my parents had actually came back already. I was able to put in about 6 hours of work on the rigging, and I was able to finish up the primary like art for the model. No shading or anything, but I got all the line work and filled in the colors and stuff. So the whole model is kind of drawn, and I can actually start on the rigging. And that was huge. That was like huge progress that I haven't like made any progress on for like a month and a half, and it felt good, man. But it was because I was able to touch back in with my base and be like, well, why am I doing this? Why bother rigging a model? This is like a ton of work. Well, it's because I'm rigging a model for somebody that I care about, I guess. So I'm going to start working on it. I want to I want to serve them. I want to make them happy because that makes me happy. I'm trying not to spoil what I'm working on, but I think there's a couple people who know pretty clearly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was really, really nice yesterday to finally kind of sort through some of these feelings. And I really needed the space and clarity to kind of sit with my discomfort, with my unhappiness, and just exist in that space for a while. I'm really, really grateful that I was able to come back to America and live with my parents, because like there's no way I could do this in Japan. I would still be an alcoholic in Japan. Thank God I was able to get back here and take a break. I still have a lot of work to do, I think, but I think yesterday was like the first day where I felt like I actually made some progress emotionally in recovering from kind of 3 years of isolation in Japan. It felt a lot like I've said this before about like fun art projects, but I felt about it yesterday with like kind of like finally making progress on identifying my core values. It felt like cutting my way through a jungle, like the underbrush with like a machete. It feels new and fresh. Like a lot of what I'm doing right now is kind of like shadow work, right? It's like identifying the negative aspects of myself and trying to integrate them and be okay with them, and reassure myself that, hey, You know, this doesn't make you a terrible person. It just makes you human. Um, that sort of stuff is very personal and very individual. You know, psychology is not a one size fits all. It's very, very, very personal. And I finally got that sensation yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I have to carve my own path. You know, I can't just watch a YouTube video and be like, oh, this is going to tell me exactly how to unfuck my life. No, it's like these are tools and you can use them, but your brain is so unlike everyone else's, right? You have to find your own way, and other people can help you, but they're only going to be able to give you like tools that'll help you cut your own path, because no one's walked your path before, and you have to figure your own way. And I felt excited when I thought about that yesterday. I feel excited about it even now. I'm hoping I can carry this optimism in through the future, and I'm making this vlog. I'm making this vlog right now just to document my feelings and to share it with you guys, because I guess in my values, my altruism value, I guess, one thing I'm lacking is a sense of community, and I want to reach out to you guys again and just say thank you so much for being with me on this journey. I know I've been very absent lately and very, I guess, I don't know. When I'm in people's chats, I get kind of goblin brained. I'm always looking for the funny one-liner that'll make the streamer laugh. And so I can be a little bit stupid and edgy there. And when I'm not on stream, I'm very depressed. And I'm just like, I don't think people enjoy being around me. But I really appreciate you guys supporting me. It means a lot to me. And I'm just a nobody. I'm just a 37-year-old nobody, right? So it really means a lot. I appreciate it. And I hope y'all also find your successes and are able to direct your lives in ways that you find to be meaningful. But yeah. So I'll talk a little bit about my next steps here in my life. First off, I really need to finish that job application. I can't be jobless forever. At some point I'm going to move back in with my sister, and she's in a more urban area than this. So I will be able to probably find a job not too difficult, I hope. Fingers crossed. Smile. Who knows? I'm going to keep working on projects. I have two major projects I'm working on right now. Obviously, the VTuber model that will remain a secret until, I don't know, it'll probably be the end of June if you ever see it. Once I get permission from the person I'm making it for, I will definitely show it off. But until then, I'm going to wait and see if they want to use it or not. This is totally just a gift model I'm making. Okay, I probably gave it away too much there. I also have a high effort fun post I've been wanting to do, but oh my god, the art is insane for that. I'll actually share a couple of them on screen because you know two of the people who are in it, but in order to do the whole thing I need to basically do this. I basically traced the line art, so it's totally whatever, but I need to color it now, and I'm trying to do it in the same style that I'm copying from, and it is very, very difficult. And this is only 2 of 4 images I need to make. Yeah, making professional level digital art is very, very difficult, so I've been very scared to start on that, but everything else in that is kind of like, it's easy, and I know how to do it. So very excited about this high effort fun post, but until I get this art done, it will be impossible to finish, and I'm just very, very scared of trying. More than that, I want to do a redesign of Temp-Tempai, right? I've been talking about it a long time. I think I like secrets to a fault. I like having surprises. I like to keep my cards hidden until the time it is ripe to show it off, right? But I think I shouldn't do it this time. I think we should design the next Temp-Tempai together. So I'll probably have a stream some point where I'll show you some ideas of what I had for the next model I want to do, and then we'll probably try drawing it on stream. Oh yeah, there's also a 3D model course. There's a guy named Mr. Zingy who I'll put his info right here. He has he's done some 3D model like for making VTuber avatars in Blender. He's tried it before and then he kind of like crashed out or something. Couldn't finish the tutorial, but he's gonna try again here. He just started it up. He made his teaser video yesterday, which is huge tease. I thought it was actually gonna be the start of the tutorial, but he'll do like a tutorial that steps by step through the entire process of making a 3D model in Blender for VTubing, including like rigging and texturing and all that. So if you're interested in that, check that out. I'll definitely be following along with the tutorial. And then the last thing, I kind of like project-wise, creative-wise, I want to kind of do some game dev on the side just for fun, just as a hobby. I don't know, I have free time right now, so it's like, why not try to make like a really short, like kind of horror experience kind of game that would be like $5 you could throw on Steam, see if I could make a living, eke a living out as like a small indie horror maker. It'd be kind of fun. It'd be kind of fun. It's a nice dream, and if it's low effort and people like those short little horror experiences, so if I could make it something that was fun and easy to make, I think that would be nice. Other things I'm doing, I'm trying, fingers crossed, I want to get through The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. It's just kind of like a way to kind of like promote creativity, I guess, trying to get back in touch with your creative side. I've definitely felt out of touch for a long time. I like the idea of this book, especially like the thing that's really helpful is like the morning journaling. She's like every morning, just first thing when you get up, you write 3 pages of journal. And it's just like stream of consciousness. And I found that helped in the past, but it's really, really hard to keep with it. So I already failed the first week of that book, so I'm gonna try again. I want to get back through, there's a book by Pete Walker called Complex PTSD From Surviving to Thriving. I don't think it perfectly describes me, but it's a very, very like good resource I found for handling emotions, especially for somebody like me who's like very not in touch with these emotions. It was very, very enlightening to read some of that and be like, oh yeah, I should be getting angry more often. I should be integrating my anger, because I am such like a I hate being angry. I kind of fear it, so I really repress it, and then that's not good for me. Because then I don't know. Anger is very important for a healthy mind, I think. So yeah, I want to get back through that book. I want to reread it because it's very interesting. And last thing I want to do is I want to read the Warrior Cat series, because my niece is in love with that series and I want to connect with her. So maybe, I don't know. I was really into Redwall when I was a kid, so I kind of want to read this series. Just something fun, you know. And then I've got other things I want to do. I want to brush up on like business Japanese, because one of the, you know, right now what I really want to do is I want to get a job where I can be an interpreter or translator, and I'm not quite that good. ちょっと日本語話せるけど、そんなにできるかなわかんない。It's kind of scary, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try for a Japanese job because it's a lot more fun than programming, and programming right now is kind of terrible. But yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do for my job. I have no clue. I'm a little scared about it, but I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit more positive today than I have been in the past, so yeah. Sorry about like drama posting on Discord. I feel really bad about that, but again, it'd be really easy to just delete it and pretend it didn't happen, but I think it's more important to be honest with myself and say I'm kind of in a struggling point right now, and what else? I don't want to make you guys feel bad for having not reached out to me or something like that. I can be a bit of a drama. When I was a kid, when I wanted attention from my parents, I would just like lay face down on the couch and mope and try to be as publicly sad as possible. So I have that kind of behavior in me. Don't reward it in me. If you see me like acting sad, trying to get attention, slap some sense into me, because that's not behavior I want to continue doing. It's just something that I've kind of you know, it's kind of a natural reaction for me, unfortunately. But yeah, no stress about that. Just yeah, I think that wraps up my vlog right as the animation is about to loop. Bam. Yep, we just rolled over on the, on the video there. So I am going to take this into my editing software, add in some visuals for the things that I mentioned. Again, thank you for listening if you made it this far. This has just been stupid introspection, completely useless, nothing anyone should ever watch. But for some reason you did. You took an interest in a stranger's life online. That's kind of weird. You're kind of weird. All right. See ya.